Solomon to Leeds is back on the table after a shock U-turn. What am I talking about? Let's get straight into it. Solomon would be set to cost around £20 million for Leeds United, and I don't think I need to dabble across Transfermarkt to go through his stats because we all know what the man can do. Leeds United were obviously poised to sign him straight after securing promotion. However, he went over to Tottenham to bide his time and see if he could work his way into their new manager, Thomas Frank's team. However, it is becoming increasingly likely that he is set to depart Tottenham this year after finding out, after training with them for a little while, that he was not part of their long-term plans, and he is back on the table. Spurs were willing to let him fight for his place, but I think it's going to soon become apparent to Solomon that he's not really a part of Tottenham's plans, coming from transfer expert Bailey, of course, who knows all his stuff, Graham Bailey, about Leeds United. Leeds United now have the chance to sign him, and the fee, as I said, is set to be around £20 million. Would you take Manor Solomon, though? This is the question I want to ask you before I go into the rest of the article here. Would you take Manor Solomon back at Leeds? He could have signed originally. He could have been part of this pre-season plan, which might have pushed Jack Harrison further away from the team. Now it's looking like Jack Harrison might be able to fight for his place in there, despite who we sign, even though we are still looking for another winger. He obviously made his desire clear. He wanted to go to Tottenham if that was an option. Now that option has departed. Do you want him to come back to Leeds United, or do you think he's burnt that bridge by the way he handled things originally? Don't get me wrong. He left with grace. He left with class. He left with, positive words to say about the fan base, about the club. He left in very good esteem. However, he did still go over to Tottenham. He did still try his luck there. Would you take him back after that? Do you think he's in the right mentality to get into a Fark side this late? He's missed all of pre-season and he's going to come in at the end. Does that make sense to you guys? Or do you think we're in an option where beggars can't be choosers? I don't believe that. I still think Leeds have a lot of money to spend, and we are looking at top options, which we will get into in just a minute. But would you take Manor Solomon back? My opinion is it's a 50-50 one. If we can't get anyone else, it's still a good option. I do feel like he has injury concerns, and if we do sign him, it's just Leeds' luck that he will get injured and be out for the whole season. After the way things have gone, I got him out of my head, but it's one that could be back on the table. So let me know your thoughts down below, because this one is developing quickly. And speaking of stories that are developing quickly, obviously it was reported earlier on in the week that this man is set to be leaving Leeds United, with Werder Bremen agreeing a deal for him. But Leeds are reluctant to let him go yet until Daniel Fark gets a suitable backup replacement for fullback. Now, who might that be? Leeds United are seriously targeting Mr. Mattia Zanotti, with negotiations progressing over a potential €10 million fee. This one is progressing rapidly. The original stories were coming out yesterday, but it is moving very, very quickly. He is very good fullback cover. He registered 11 goal contributions from fullback for Lugano last season, and at 22 years of age, has a lot of scope for development, especially if we were to pick up an injury to either our new signing Goodmanson, Jayden Bogle. He can cover at fullback, which is what we need. We are reported to be bringing in 4 new signings. That is coming out of various reports that Leeds United are looking to bring in 4 new signings. 1 fullback cover, 1 number 10, 1 winger, and 1 striker. With our centre-back options covered, our midfield looking jacked and stacked and athletically backed. Now we are looking at fullback options, and this wouldn't be a bad one. £10 million, if we aren't to recoup that much money for, obviously, Schmidt. This brings concerns, especially when I come on to the next story that I'm talking about, and it is around Mateo Joseph, because Leeds don't look set. Prior to my beliefs before, where I thought we were trying to use his sale money to get money to buy another striker, Leeds United are apparently not looking to let him go on a permanent basis now. This has come after Prague McGrath and a lot of other executives at Leeds United have made their intents clear to keep him at the club, whether we loan him out, but keep his services for the long term at the club, because they value him very, very highly. Now, there's 2 ways of looking at this for me. One, they're trying to say this to quash the potential ramifications of him requesting a transfer fee and what that's going to do to the valuation of the player going forward in the immediate term. If they're coming out and making their stance clear like this, that I don't care what he said, we want to keep him on the long-term basis, that is going to forces club's hand to pay higher fees for Mateo Joseph. That is one interesting perspective to look at. The other perspective is that they are speaking factually and they want to loan him out, and if he has a very, very impressive campaign at Betis, Getafe, wherever that may be, if they want to sign him, that fee is going to push up even higher because we do still have him for a few years. There is no immediate push to get Joseph out of the club unless if it is for PSR concerns. So if Leeds are doing this, it's a very, very smart way of going about it, no matter which way it is. No matter whether they are trying to get him out on a permanent basis or if they are trying to loan him, either keep him for a couple of years' time if he develops or sell him out with a higher fee. It's a very smart play by Leeds United and the 49ers and something I like very much. But let me know what you guys think about this one. He's burnt his bridges with the fan base. He's burnt his bridges with FARC. So it seems. So how do you guys feel about this one? Would you be open to loaning him out, or do you just want to get any bit of money that you can for him now and say goodbye and pack his doors, basically. Pack his doors in. Get him out of there. Let me know what you guys think down below. Now, in other news, there are going to be changes to the matchday music at Ellen Road. Now, what do I mean by this? Obviously, Leeds United have secured promotion to the Premier League. And it's interesting because I don't remember this being an issue last time we were in there. But obviously, things have changed since then. And they do like to play that Premier League anthem before clubs walk out onto the pitch. It's not a great anthem, in my opinion. It doesn't get you G'd up. It doesn't have the razzmatazz of the Champions League anthem, you know. We are the champions. It doesn't quite have that spine-tingling aura to it, but Leeds are going to be forced to play that as the players come out of the tunnel. So the reported changes are that they are going to play Strings for Yasmin as the players leave, followed shortly by the Premier League anthem, and then after the Premier League anthem has happened, after the players are already on the pitch, that is when you are going to hear the fateful Marching On Together being played. How do you guys feel about this one? I know a lot of you are season ticket holders. That Marching On Together for me is one of the best parts of the entire game. It's spine-tingling. It gets your juices flowing. It gets you in the mood to absolutely smash someone in on the pitch, of course. I mean, absolutely smash some goals into the back of the net and really get behind the team. So let me know what you guys think about this. Is it a much to do about nothing? I think after about a month, it will be a much to do about nothing. And, you know, other clubs, Liverpool, Forest, etc., do similar things. So it is going to just become the norm. But it is something to bear in mind if you are a matchday goer at Leeds United. Now, in other news, we move forward to midfield acquisitions. Most notoriously, we need a creative midfielder who is going to contribute with goals and assists next year in the Premier League. Now, the two names that we are going to be looking at are Florentino Luis and El Khannouss from Leicester City. We spoke about these guys earlier on in the weekend, I believe last week as well, and Leeds United are still targeting them and moving swiftly on for them. We're eyeing a move for Florentino Luis, sorry, pardon me for that one, and El Khannouss. Now, we'll start off with Luis, who Leeds United are still in the search for. He obviously is 26 years of age, slightly more experienced, and has played a lot of games for Benfica. Now, the other name is El Khannouss from Leicester City, who Leeds United have made an official inquiry for. So this one is a little bit more progressed than Luis, and is one that Leeds United are actively seeking to bring into the Premier League. Obviously, there are other Premier League clubs noted to be interested in him, one of them being West Ham, etc., etc. Now, there isn't too much to delve into in terms of the article, aside from the fact Leeds have lodged an official inquiry for El Khannouss. So let's have a little look at the two players in question. We have had a look before, but just to break this down as to the sense and logic behind it, because one of them I think you can quash out, and that one is Florentino Luis. Why do I say that? Because look at where his games have been coming from. They are from the defensive midfield position. 45 games last year, 2 goals and 1 assist in the DM position. He's more of a deep-lying player. He's very creative. He's very good on the football, of course, but we already have enough quality in the midfield to get us through this Premier League campaign and achieve survival. In my opinion, midfield is not our issue. Whereas El Khannouss, on the other hand, has played 27 games from the attacking midfield position a little bit of games on the left-hand side and one game from a deeper position. He's played in the Premier League, of course, last year for a relegated Leicester side, which might be an issue of concern. He doesn't want back-to-back relegations on his hand. Is that going to drive him forward to improve his performances even more at Leeds United? He's the younger player at 22 years of age, definitely something that Leeds could be looking at more. But then on the other hand, has he already accepted relegation once? And do you want a player to accept it again? That is the other question mark around El Khannouss that could potentially lead you to sway towards Florentino Luis. But as I said before, DM position, not something we need. We need someone who plays out and out in that attacking midfield role, in my personal opinion. And I believe that personal opinion is echoed by you guys from everything you guys have been saying in the comments in the recent weeks and months. So for me, El Khannouss is definitely one to look at and someone to get excited about. Leeds obviously have launched the inquiry, as I said, early stages at this current moment in time. Again, wouldn't be my first option. A lot of better options out there, in my opinion. This is one where you're going to really have to bank on his development and hope that he can really, really bolster up those numbers in the coming years and potentially make money on him in the long term, which is another aspect to look at here. But just isn't someone for me that really gets me excited and really bolsters up the quality in the side. I think he's similar caliber to Brendan Aronson. That might be a criminal thing to say. I know he's got better quality in his final ball than Brendan Aronson. A little bit more composure from when I've watched him, but he's not a standout marquee signing that's going to instantaneously boost Leeds United's output, which I think we should be going for, even if they are slightly older. So these two names don't really get me that excited, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do these names get you excited? More excited than me? We'll have to find out, because it doesn't excite me too much. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below.